What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Stormy here, and I am back with another video. And today we are going to be talking about, can Delta defeat the AKATSUKI? Now, me personally, I thought it was common knowledge that Delta destroys the AKATSUKI, but apparently not. So that's why I'm making this video, to show you guys why Delta destroys the AKATSUKI. Now, I'm not going to be nerfing the AKATSUKI members. I'm actually going to put them at their strongest forms. So yes, Edo Itachi, Edo Nagato, and Jubito are all included in this versus battle. I also will be including Team Taka and Orochimaru into this versus battle as well. I'm also going to be pairing them up 1v1 against Delta. So yeah, this might actually be a long ass video. I'm also going to be going over their feats and fights that we've seen. So yeah, just sit back and enjoy the video. But before we start, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of this year. So yeah, subscribing only takes 3 seconds. So yeah, let's move on to the video. Now, the first matchup we have is Kakuzu versus Delta. Now, Kakuzu is a formidable opponent for Delta for her first match. A couple of feats that Kakuzu has is going up against Kakashi in Team 10 during the Akatsuki suppression arc, and is famous for bragging about fighting Hashirama, the first Hokage. Now, Kakuzu is by far one of the weakest Akatsuki members. His abilities are basically all 5 changes and chakra natures, and he has 4 hearts. Now, the attacks he has allows him to let off super strong blasts, but those attacks would not matter since Delta can just absorb them. And I don't think Kakuzu is that smart to find out Delta's weakness. His best bet is to fight with taijutsu, and even then that probably wouldn't even work since Delta went hand to hand with Hokage Naruto, whereas Kakuzu got one-shotted by a Rasen Shuriken by a Teen Naruto without even Sage Mode. And then again, Delta has her light beams, which would absolutely foderize Kakuzu. So yes, Delta wins this matchup pretty easily. Next up, we have Hidan versus Delta. Now, Delta would absolutely no-diff Hidan. Now, Hidan isn't that weak, so yeah, let's go over his feat. Now, Hidan is a tricky character to fight. He's the one that killed Asuma. He also took down the Guardian Shinobi 12 with Kakuzu, but he also lost to Shikamaru. But his abilities are quite broken. If he's able to gather your blood and land a touch on you, you're fucked. Because now you and him are linked to each other. Basically, he can stab himself 1,000 times, and you'll take all the damage for it. But the downside to his ability is that he can't leave the circle that he's in, which basically makes him a sitting duck, and that would allow Delta to use her light beam. Another thing is that we don't even know if Delta can bleed, since she's an android with a human soul, and Delta can regenerate all of her limbs. So yes, Hidan's ability wouldn't even work on her. So yeah, Delta pretty much wins this fight pretty easily. Next up, we have Delta versus Sasori. Now, Delta would absolutely slaughter Sasori. Sasori was stated to be the one that killed off the 3rd Kazekage. He's also known as Sasori of the Red Sand, but his biggest feat that we've seen is when he fought Sakura and Granny Chiyo, and he actually lost that fight. But people will say that he was holding back during that fight, but that doesn't matter since we haven't seen any other fights from him. But his abilities are quite crazy, since he has the 1000 puppets jutsu. He also has the puppet of the 3rd Kazekage, but then again, he lost to Sakura and Granny Chiyo. And then again, Delta's regeneration abilities are crazy, so all those attacks wouldn't even matter. But yeah, Delta pretty much wins this fight easily as well too. Next up, we have Deidara versus Delta. This might be one of the most destructive fights, since Deidara is basically an S-class bomber, and him and Delta kind of have the same type of personality. Now, Deidara's feats are fighting against the beginning of Shippuden Naruto and Kakashi, and also fighting against Sasuke right before the Itachi fight. Now, Deidara's ability is basically turning clay into bombs, and he can basically spam that shit. So Delta would have a hard time fighting against Deidara, but her having regeneration abilities is just absolutely broken. And then on top of that, Delta is also a beast at taijutsu. Deidara can also use his super big bomb shit, but that would also kill him as well. So yeah, Delta would actually win this fight low to mid diff. Now, this is where things start to get controversial and interesting, so yeah, get ready. Next up, we have Delta versus Itachi. Now, there's a lot of hardcore Itachi fans, and they're not gonna like my answer, but Delta slaps Itachi mid diff. And this isn't sick Itachi either, this is Edo Itachi. Now, Edo Itachi is quite different from sick regular Itachi. He has more feats and is actually the healthiest we've ever seen him in the series. These that he showed in the war arc were absolutely crazy after he swapped hands with KCM1 Naruto and Killer B. Not only that, he was also able to destroy Kabuto, and his abilities are absolutely broken with his Mangekyo Sharingan, where he can also use Amaterasu, Susanoo, and Tsukiyomi. He also has the Totsuka Blade and the Outer Mirror, and the abilities of his Totsuka Blade are quite broken since he can literally seal you if he touches you. His Outer Mirror can literally negate any attack. But Delta also has feats of her own as well, since she was able to go up against a suppressed Sage of Six Paths mode Naruto. And a lot of people will say that, oh, but Naruto only went 6 Paths mode just to finish the fight quickly, which will only boost Delta even more, since that would mean Naruto wasn't confident enough to beat Delta in base form. And again, Naruto has no reason to hold back his speed since it literally works in his favor. But realistically, she would blitz and one-shot Itachi, and then people might bring up the argument that Itachi has Genjutsu. Well, he would have to be fast enough to actually cast a genjutsu on Delta. So yeah, Delta beats Itachi mid-diff. Next up we have Delta versus Kisame. Now Kisame has some feats, but they're not good enough feats to put him over Delta. Biggest feats are fighting against Might Guy and Killer B. He lost both of those fights if I'm not mistaken. His abilities aren't as broken as the other members of the Akatsuki. The abilities are he can basically drain your chakra if he hits you with his sword Samehada, and he was also able to make a water dome. But Delta can fly, so I don't think it would actually work on Delta since she can literally just fly over it. But yeah, Kisame will get bodied with no difficulty. Next up we have Pain versus Delta. Now this is gonna get a lot of you guys pissed off, but Delta slams Pain with no difficulty at all. Now the reason I say that is because Pain lost to a Teen Sage Mode Naruto who went ballistic. The durability of these 6 paths of Pain are quite dog shit, since Konohamaru was able to take one down. Even though he wasn't able to destroy it, he still took one down. Delta's light beams should be able to destroy all these 6 paths of Pain with ease except for the Deva path. The only thing that I see Delta having trouble with is the Chubaku Tensei, and even then he has to be fast enough to catch her in it. So yeah, Delta slams Pain with no difficulty. Next up we have Konan versus Delta. Now Konan's best feat is going up against Orange Masked Obito. Now Delta absolutely wipes Konan with no difficulty at all. The thing I'll say is that this would be an annoying fight since Konan is made of fucking paper, but eventually Delta would get the dub. Next up we have Sasuke's former groupie Karin versus Delta. This should just be self-explanatory. Delta just destroys Karin in every single way. Like, Delta's more thick, Delta's more pretty. Like, she just wipes Karin in every single category. Like, I do not see how Karin wins this fight. Next up we have Orochimaru versus Delta. Now, Orochimaru, while being in the Akatsuki, was pretty much weak as fuck. Literally has no feats. All we know is that he got bodied by a 14-year-old Itachi. So yeah, Delta pretty much wins this fight with pretty much no difficulty at all. Next up we have Suigetsu versus Delta. This will be an annoying fight just like the Konan fight, since Suigetsu can make his body full of water. So yeah, Delta would have an annoying time fighting against Suigetsu. All in all, she would beat Suigetsu. Next up we have is Jugo versus Delta. Now Jugo at this point is absolutely crazy. He was able to react to Killer B. He was also able to react to the Raikage. Now this fight would be okay, but all in all, Delta would absolutely slaughter Jugo. Next up we have MS Sasuke versus Delta. Now this fight would be easy for Delta since Sasuke got manhandled by Killer B and the Raikage. Sasuke at this point has the Amaterasu and the Susanoo, but even with that, Delta would still slap Sasuke. So yeah, Delta wins this fight as well pretty easily. Next up we have Edo Nagato versus Delta. Now Edo Nagato can use all 6 paths abilities of the Rinnegan. He also kept up with KCM1 Naruto and Killer B as well, along with Edo Itachi. Now if Nagato is able to catch Delta and rip her soul out, he wins this fight. But Delta has the more better speed feats. So yeah, Nagato loses this fight sadly to Delta. Next up we have Jubito versus Delta. Jubito is the strongest form of Obito. He is the 10 Tails Jinchuriki and actually put up a decent fight against Delta. Now the only things that work against Jubito are Sage attacks and Taijutsu. But Delta has the speed feats and the Taijutsu feats to actually put up a fight against Jubito. And plus, Delta has her light beams, which can actually negate any type of regeneration. So yes, Jubito's regeneration would not matter in this scenario. Yeah, Delta beats Jubito mid-diff. So yes, the answer is this: Delta can actually defeat the entire Akatsuki. But hey, I'm not power scaler, so if you can debunk all my statements in the comments, I don't care, go ahead. It's my opinion. I think Delta can beat the Akatsuki. But hey, we reached the end of this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of this year. Make sure you guys follow my Twitter. The link is in the description. Follow my Twitter. So yeah, give me some feedback in the comment section, and I'm out. Peace.